Welcome to the Radical Success Podcast, where we focus on internal transformation to experience external results. I'm your host and coach, Doreen Rainey. Join me each week for insightful messages and powerful interviews to equip you to take bold, courageous, and radical action to live the life you want and deserve.
Hey there, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Radical Success Podcast. I'm so excited to have this opportunity to connect with you again as we talk about the power of internal transformation to achieve external results. And I am your host and your radical coach, Doreen Rainey. And I first want to just let you know how grateful I am for all of the comments and the emails that let me know how much this podcast has helped you as you are passionately pursuing your goals and your dreams and your aspirations. I love hearing how something that I've shared or something that I've said has made a difference in how you are approaching your goals, how you are thinking about your goals. And it's just really exciting for me to know that I'm a part of your success journey. And so if you want to learn more about me, the work that I do, my Radical Success Institute, you can jump on over to my website, which is DoreenRainey.com. I would love to connect with you and learn more about what your goals are and what you're up to. Today's episode, I am coming to you to talk a little bit about mindset and specifically a little pet peeve I have when it comes to managing your mindset. If you have been around the personal development space for any amount of time, if you have done any research on success or ways that you can achieve big goals, then I have no doubt that you've heard about this concept of mindset and have begun to understand how important it is in terms of your ability to bring your vision and your goals to life. I want to start out just by giving you a definition of mindset, which is basically a set of assumptions, beliefs, methods that you hold that actually dictate your behaviors, your thoughts, and your actions. And one of the things that I love to make clear about mindset is that your mindset isn't so much determined by what you say. It's really determined by what you do. And this shows up so many times for people who can talk about what they want to achieve in life. You know, maybe you know someone that's constantly sharing with you, I'm going to start this business, write this book, I'm going to get a promotion, I'm going to go back to school, I'm going to build wealth. You know, they can talk enthusiastically about what it is they're going to be accomplishing in the future. But yet, if you really examine their actions, if you examine what they're actually doing as it relates to achieving those goals, there's a disconnect. And so the mindset, when people say, you know, have an optimistic mindset, have a positive mindset, you cannot measure that based on what people are saying. And if you are someone that believes you have a positive mindset, you have an optimistic mindset, and you're saying all of the right things, then you and the people you know may need to question, does the words line up with the action? And that's when you can really, really dissect and understand whether you have a positive and optimistic mindset or not. And if you're still trying to figure out, well, you know, I think I have a positive mindset. I think I have an optimistic mindset, and I'm not just a talker. You know, I am actually doing those things. Well, here's another tool you can use to measure where your mindset is right now. And it's simply a question. If you look at where you are right now and you think about how you feel about your future, are you experiencing joy, fulfillment, happiness, and excitement? Because where you are right now is a result of your mindset. Where you are right now is not a result of what you've said. It's a result of what you've done. And if you aren't totally pleased with where you are right now with what you've done, then you may want to look at what your mindset has been around that particular area of your life. And so in assessing your mindset and understanding that it's not about what you say, it's about what you do, and looking at maybe your business or your career or your finances and trying to see, is it measuring up to what you've been saying about those areas, then you can decide whether your mindset is something that needs to be adjusted. And if so, you want to look at how can you begin to shift your mindset so that you're not just a talker, you're not just excited about what's possible, but you actually have a deep embedded belief that you can actually achieve those things, which then drives your behavior to do those things. And shifting your mindset requires work. Shifting your mindset requires effort, and it requires daily conditioning. And I want to emphasize the word daily, because in my experience, when people are focused on shifting their mindset, changing the way they think, changing what they believe at their core, they go to some great resources, and rightfully so. You know, they might read a book. They might go to a conference or a workshop. They might begin to think about what they believe about their deserve level, and they may start to do some journaling. And all of those things are great. I absolutely recommend those types of assets and actions to help you shift your mindset. But you cannot read a book every now and then. You cannot attend a conference or a workshop or listen to motivational tapes or motivational recordings every now and then, every so often. To have a fundamental shift in your mindset, it's really about what you do on a daily basis. That determines what you ultimately believe and dictates your actions. And so that's kind of just the overview of mindset. Number one, it's not indicated that you have a positive or an optimistic mindset based on what you say. Your mindset is measured by what you do and the results that you have produced. And then secondly, paying attention to your mindset is not something that you can do every now and then, every once in a while. You have got to be mindful of what you are taking in terms of your thoughts, your ideas. You have to be aware of what you're taking in on a daily basis, which actually brings me to my pet peeve. So if you remember, when I first started this podcast, I shared with you that there is an element of mindset conditioning that I have seen over the last, year or so that's really irked me. And I want to share it with you. I believe that you never turn your mind off, which means that everything that you see, everything that you hear, everything that you pay attention to, everything that you give your energy to has an impact on your mindset. That's why it does matter what you read. That's why it matters what you watch. That's why it matters what you listen to, because everything that we absorb in those ways impact our thoughts, impacts our beliefs, and impacts our action. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about the danger of allowing mindless conditioning to take root in you. So here's an example to kind of frame this idea of mindless conditioning. If you have ever been one that has wanted to lose weight or wanted to eat healthier or wanted to manage your calories, then I'm sure that in your research or talking to a nutritionist that you have come across this concept of mindless eating. And mindless eating is the food you take in when you're not really paying attention. So for example, maybe you're watching TV and you're going to snack on some popcorn or some potato chips or whatever, and you're not paying attention. And before you know it, you've eaten a whole bag of potato chips or the whole bag of popcorn. And mindlessly, you look up and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I ate that. Well, the same way you can have mindless eating, you can also expose yourself to that mindless scrolling. If you go on Facebook, if you go on Instagram, if you go on Twitter, there's no doubt that you scroll. And what can happen is you can mindlessly scroll and start pausing and looking at and taking in images, words, videos that do not serve the greater good of your mindset. And one particular type of post that I've noticed that really kind of gets to me because it can unconsciously shift the way you think about things is the posts that revolve around choosing. Now, stay with me. Stay with me. If you have ever come across a post that has, a picture of a cat and a picture of a dog, and it says, you can only have one, which would it be? And then you see all the responses, dog, 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 cat, cat, cat. Or maybe you saw a post where it says, you have to give up one. Which would you give up? And maybe there is a picture of a toaster or a blender and maybe a mixer or a juicer. And everybody's going, oh, I'd give up A, I'd give up C, I'd give up D. Or maybe you've seen a post where I saw this about a month or so ago when Beyonce and Jay-Z tickets went on sale. And for those of you who may not be tracking the movements of B&J, they are actually going on tour together, and tickets went on sale, I guess, a month or so ago. And I start seeing these posts around, you're buying your Beyonce tickets, but you're not investing in your business. Or how many of you have bought Beyonce tickets, but you're not going to an event that could help you reach your goals? You're spending your money on tickets, but not investing in yourself. Posts like that. Or posts that say, I don't need a designer bag. I don't need a big diamond. I just need a man that loves me. And on the surface, these types of posts may seem harmless. They may seem fun. And you may figure, what's the big deal? It's, something cutesy that's going around social media right now. But if you remember what I said earlier, that everything that you take in with what you watch, with what you hear, with what you give your energy to, impacts your mindset. And your mindset is what you fundamentally believe that dictates your behaviors and your actions. And so why is this such a pet peeve of mine? Why is this irritating me? Why do I hate seeing those posts? Because it's setting you up to believe that when it comes to having things in life, you have to choose. You have to have a cat or a dog. You have to have a toaster or a blender. You have to have Beyonce tickets or investing in your business. And I want you to hear me out on this because you might be thinking, come on, Doreen, it is really not that serious. Oh my gosh, it is so serious because I don't live in a land of or. One of my commitments when I decided to create radical success for myself and then help other people create radical success was that we were not going to live in a land of or. We were going to choose and. So what that means is when you see something that says cat or dog, it's like, well, I can have a cat and a dog. Why can I only like a dog and not like a cat? When you see something that says you can either have, a great man or a big diamond ring. Well, why can't I have a great man and a diamond ring? We hear so many times, okay, you have to have your career or your family right now. We hear so many times, well, you either have to go back to school or stay in your career until you can figure out how to do both. You either have to build your business right now or have a life. And years ago, I began to shift all of my ors to and. And when I did that, something amazing happened. I began to look at things from a very different perspective and take in new ideas and new ways of creating the and that I just talked about. And so when you talk about how can I build my business and not work 80, 90 hours a week? How can I grow my corporate career and still have time with my family? How can I go see Beyonce and Jay-Z and invest in myself? How can I honor my husband, my wife, my children, all of my responsibilities, and indulge in self-care? When you begin to ask questions about your life by choosing and, it opens up a whole new view. And we are no longer conditioning ourselves that everything is about a choice. I can't have both. I can't have this. I can't have that all at the same time. We begin to say, well, what would it look like if it was possible for me to have both? And when it comes to mindset, this seems like a very small thing, but it is oh so important. You know, you might be thinking, I either gotta get out of debt or we can take a family vacation. What if you said, we're going to get out of debt and take a family vacation? This kind of perspective causes you to shift your behavior, to shift your beliefs, and to shift your actions. Now, I'm not saying that it is always possible that you can have everything all at the same time. What I am encouraging you to do is to, instead of starting from the place of I have to choose, I can't have both, this doesn't work, I want you to start from the place of, well, what if I could have both? What if it could work? What would that look like? And if you begin to create that plan, that strategy, you'd be amazed at how much you can enjoy both quicker, faster, sooner. And so I just wanted to come on this episode and talk about not just mindset, but how just the littlest things that we think don't matter really do matter when it comes to what we think, what we believe, and what we do. And so, as always, I would love to hear from you. I would love to know what stuck out for you in this podcast, what resonated with you, what nugget you're taking with you. You can absolutely hit me up on my website, DoreenRainey.com. You can also tweet me or hit me up on Instagram at Doreen Rainey. And of course, you can join me on Facebook. I am at Coach Doreen Rainey. So thank you so much for tuning in to the Radical Success Podcast. It is my hope, my mission, my passion to help you define success for yourself, get the guts to go after it, have an internal transformation that leads to powerful external results, and that we take this journey called life and we maximize every moment we have. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, stay radical.
Thanks for listening to the Radical Success Podcast. We would love to hear from you. Be sure to head over to iTunes and subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Until next time, stay radical.